Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I live in Mountain Village, Colorado until about 4 or 5 more days. If you want to find out anything about me, you can go to MySpace where I have a page. This here is a video, very short webcam video, and eventually I hope to have my internet TV show one day, hopefully out of Hawaii. So right now I'm just doing little webcam videos and making social and political pitches and suggesting ideas to make America a better place to live and to save it from these monsters that are in control right now, or I call them the Bolsheviks. There is one way to stop Obama's Marxist takeover of America. I know a lot of people say he's not a socialist, and you got some who say he is a socialist. Even Al Sharpton said he's a socialist. I don't think he's a socialist. I think he's a Marxist. You have to remember that in the books that are his so-called autobiography, The Dreams of My Father, in the first one, he wrote that, one of his mentors was a communist in Hawaii. I think it was supposed to be his uncle. Then he talks about his infatuation with, college professors who were Marxists. I truly believe this guy's a Marxist, but because we live in a democracy, because we have a Supreme Court, we have a court system, we have the power of voting, and where it's not one-party rule, he could never succeed and turn us into a Marxist state. Many of the things that he's done has not yet made it to the courts and could be overturned at any time. Just like I think this healthcare mandate in a 5-4 decision by the Supreme Court will probably be overturned. Because if the government's allowed to force us to buy something simply because we exist, then where does it stop? It's going to get worse, and it's going to get worse in towns and cities and counties all over the nation. The governments of these towns and cities and counties can start making us buy anything. It just explodes. Anyhow, the only way to stop Obama and his Bolsheviks, and I call them the American Communist Party now, that's what I call the Democratic Party, is through a constitutional convention. We need a constitutional convention where the states can come together and they can limit the power of the federal government. They can change the Constitution just a little bit and take away certain powers that the federal government has. You must remember that the Constitution's the main purpose of, or not the main purpose, but one of the purposes of the Constitution is to keep the federal government from going crazy like they are now, from overtaking all the states and having everything run out of the federal in one location, that is at the federal level. And Obama doesn't respect states' rights. He doesn't respect the American people. He's determined to get his agenda through, and he'll do anything, lie, cheat, whatever, steal. Well, of course, we know they steal, and we know they lie. They'll do whatever it takes to get their agenda through. They don't care about the consequences of it. By the year 2020, we're supposed to have a deficit of about $20 trillion. That's about, what, 16, 17 trillion more than what Bush left us. So who's destroying this country? This is no longer about my candidate's better than your candidate. This is about survival. We are in a lot of danger, and the greatest danger is not from Osama bin Laden anymore. It's from Obama, and it's from Reid, and it's from Nancy Pelosi. Harry Reid is finished, and I do believe that the Democrats will lose the House in November, but it won't be until January of next year before they can take control. Then they can start reversing some of this Marxist agenda. Keep in mind that the Obama administration has had communists on there. They had Anita Dunn, who thinks Chairman Mao is just the greatest guy in the world, one of her mentors. And he murdered 39 to 70 million Chinese. And that's what these people believe. These people are beyond radical. They're probably the most radical people that ever walked into the White House, or lied their way into the White House. Now they have their disciples at MSNBC trying to help them stay in there, and you have the women of CNN doing everything they can to praise him like he's some type of god or something. He's a man with no experience. He's never put a budget together. He's never managed anything. He's never ruled over anything. He doesn't even know how to put a budget together. That's why everything has been outsourced to Congress, because he doesn't know how to do anything. They have to do it for him and then send it to him to sign, so he can run around the country bashing people that oppose anything that he claims he wants or he's done, when he's absolutely done nothing but divide people. He is not a unifier. He's a divider. He's just like the devil himself. He divides people. It's like any dictator that comes to power. He doesn't bring unity. He brings people. He just puts people at each other's throats, and they sit back and get a kick at it and laugh at it. And then to them, it's just a big thrill. This man doesn't care what we think. I'm an independent, and he's lost me. And he's losing a lot of independents, and he's losing a lot of libertarians. And it's going to get worse. And so the only way to stop this machine, besides through the courts, and a change in, and if the Republicans can take the House, it's through a constitutional convention. There is no other way to stop this machine, because they are on a suicide mission, and they will stomp anybody, kick anybody that gets in their way. That's how demonic these people become when they get into power. They smell that power, and then that lust for power, they become intoxicated with it, and they just become animals or beasts, just like the Roman emperors used to be, or like Hitler used to be, or Pol Pot used to be, or like Fidel Castro is today. These people are demonic, and we have a White House full of demonic people, and we have a Democratic Party that's full of demonic people. These people have gone mad. I'll say something here. There is a passage, I think it's in the Old Testament, where, I don't know if it was Isaiah, Ezekiel says something that, no, I think it's in the New Testament. I think it was Paul that wrote this, that God will send them a delusion that they will believe a lie, meaning he'll send it upon the nations. I sometimes wonder if our nation is under a delusion. I really do. I wonder sometimes if we have gone mad, and we don't know it, and we can't tell the difference between good and evil anymore. And we are under a heavenly delusion that leaves us in an absolute state of confusion. When we think we're doing good, we're actually doing evil. When we're doing evil, we actually think we're doing good, or whatever. That's what I think has happened. And I think that's what's happening to our nation. So this may be the end of our so-called empire, as you call it. We may self-destruct, and Obama is going to be the one to push the button to destroy us. And we do it because of our own madness, and our own greed, and our own stupidity, and our own arrogance. And boy, when it comes to arrogance, this man is arrogant. Again, this is not a push for a Republicans party, but this is just a warning that you have to stop looking at the person, and you have to take a hard look at what he's doing and what the Congress is doing. They've gone mad. They've actually gone mad. They've gone insane. And if God gives us another chance, I hope he does, we need a constitutional convention, because that's the only way we're going to stop these people, besides elections. But we can have a constitutional convention, and we can take authority away from the federal government, and basically we can prohibit, make it unconstitutional for any president to engage in any kind of takeover of any industry, any more bailouts, any more of this stuff. It can be worked out. And to prohibit communists and socialists from serving as a president or being in the White House. That would just something that would have to be worked out. But it can be stopped. And if we can have this convention and it's successful, that will put an end to all communists and socialists seeking to become president, so they can push that agenda. It can be stopped. It's not going to be easy. It's hard, but it can be done. Thank you for your time, and I just hope you will contact your congressional representative in your state and tell them it's time for a constitutional convention, because our days are numbered if we don't stop this deadly machine. This is a beast, something like from out of the Bible that's in the White House now, and they are on a suicide mission, and they are on a mission to kill, stomp, destroy anything and anybody that gets in their way. They've just started, but luckily in November and starting in January we can put an end to it. But a constitutional convention that's one that's successful can really bring this nation back and give us some hope. Thank you.